3, 2, 1, fire!
What's good, everybody? This is EQ from La Familia Music Group, and we bring to you the What's Dope in the Slow podcast. And on this episode, I bring a special guest. He's a house DJ out of Telluride. I actually went to school with this guy, so it's dope to reconnect and everything. But he goes by BRX. My boy Briggs, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. Much appreciated. It's nice to finally come down here and check out the studio and see what's up down here. You know?
Oh, of course, man. I'm glad to have you here, man, and for you to check it out. And, you know, you live in Telluride, right? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I'm up in Telluride,
right?
Yep.
Cool,
right
man.
Town.
You recently moved back to Telluride, or how long
Yeah,
ago?
so I moved back right before COVID.
Okay.
Just to come back home. I was after school, and I was like,
Dope.
I'll come back, work for my dad a little bit,
There
check
you
some
go.
things out. And then COVID happened, and I was like, well, there's no reason to move, I guess, now. I might as well just stay here.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
He's been working, just trying to
Yep.
save up, hustle.
Yeah, I was working for my dad for a while, and he's going to retire. So now I'm, going to get a different job for a little bit. But
There you go.
mainly just music. Mainly just focusing on
Dope,
music,
man.
producing
That's right.
some new songs and albums and all that kind of stuff. That way next year, it's just music.
Next year.
Stop doing other stuff.
That's right, man. You were mentioning earlier that you're trying to work on that original music. So right
Yeah.
now you're more of that mixing DJ. You're mixing stuff together, but you are a producer essentially, right? And you're just trying to build it up.
So right now, mainly what I'm doing is I just, I travel, I play shows. I play a lot of shows in Telluride with another DJ, Ken Tendo.
That's right. Shout out Contendo.
Yep. But I was actually just in California for 5 weeks, just playing some shows, hanging out with some
That's
good
right.
friends from Burning Man, some just amazing people that are like, I consider my family out there.
For sure.
And, getting a fresh vibe that's not Telluride for a little bit and, switching it up.
Yeah, no,
sometimes
for
you need
sure,
that.
man.
But I'm working on 2 albums right now. One
Ew.
that's like a Burning Man album for all my friends.
Okay.
And then another album that's just like, this is my original sound, that like something that like I'm kind of experimenting with.
Yeah.
Not something that like I want to DJ or like specifically be known for as a sound, but
Okay.
just something that I'm interested in trying out.
Yeah.
And then
sure.
I'm going to work on an EP with Kentendo also.
Dope.
And then hopefully be working on some other stuff with some other artists coming up. And actually in January I'll be featured as Artist of the Month or, Mix of the Month for a Blueprint Records, which is owned by a guy literally named Telluride.
Really?
Yeah, it's spelled differently, but his name is literally Telluride.
I think I know who you're talking about. I don't know the guy, but I think social media, I think I've seen it around for sure, man. That's dope, man.
So he got me a show
Awesome.
in San Diego while I was out there, so I played a show with him and then, just hung out with him for a little bit and talked music. So hopefully get an EP going once I, make my own stuff and get it out and then go through his record label for a couple things.
That's right.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. I got all those connections out in California that I was just like grinding to work on. I'm just like, finally, stuff's like falling into place finally, which will be nice to
make it happen.
See some progress.
That's right. No, for
Instead
sure.
of just sitting in my house, like, when I'm not working like 8+, like yesterday I literally did music for like 16 to 18 hours straight.
That's right.
And
you have
just
to, man.
like, I'm like, man, it's going to be nice to actually see the progress and see the music out there and see the response. So I can, be like, okay, do I need to change how I'm doing things or like, is this working?
For sure, man.
It'd be nice to finally see that actual, like, on paper.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, seeing some of those benefits, man. And it takes that consistency and hard work, which it seems like exactly what you're doing, man. Just working, whether it's networking, doing shows out of town and all that, which is dope, man. Because I definitely see you working and just basically trying to pursue this and make this music dream happen, man, which is dope, man. And you mentioned Contendo, so shout out Contendo, man. But you also mentioned Burning Man, which is like, you've been doing Burning Man for a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been doing Burning Man for a little bit.
That's right.
So my
Let's
first
talk
year,
about that,
year was in 2019.
Okay.
And then COVID happened.
That's right.
So like we haven't been able to do it until this year.
Gotcha.
So it's like I've only been twice.
Okay.
It feels like I've been a lot more because
That's
like
dope, though.
the family that I know from there, and like this year, I guess I'll go back. In 2019, we camped on one of the corners.
Okay.
And there is a camp across from us that we met, making friends. They were like, good people, good vibe. I was going through a tough time in my life then. So I didn't make as good of friends with them as like my brother did and other people.
For sure.
But I remembered them and stuff, and they remembered us, and I talked to them, throughout the years. And then this summer, they hit us up and they were like, hey, you guys want to camp with us this year?
That dope.
And there's like 23 of them.
Okay.
or 19 of them plus us was 23 or something like that.
Yeah.
And most of them are doctors, very successful people. They're all like in their 30s, so they're a little older than me, which like I always consider myself older anyway. Like I don't hang out with people my own age. I never really have. I've always hung out with older because my brother's older. So I always hung out with older people, so I never had to like consider that as weird or anything. I'm just like, oh, it just feels natural. That's like normal life, like as it should be. But they asked us to camp with them. We camped with them this year, and it was an awesome time. I got to play one set there and then played a camp set and stuff like that. And then next year I'm actually in talks with some people from like Opulent Temple and some other big Burning Man camps that are like, if you play there, like you're an artist that is like world known. And I'm not world known at all. But I just happened to reach out at the right time, I guess, and make the connection and talk to them. And they were like, hey, we like your mixes. Like, let us know what you're producing and all that kind of stuff. And like, we do want you, but we just got to know when.
For sure.
So it's one of those things that I'm like, this could be really good because once you do that and like people know who you are, it's like, okay, cool. And Burning Man isn't a music festival, so it's like it's the culture. It's a festival. Yeah, and it's just you're in the middle of the desert. It's good people. There's amazing art. There is a lot of good music, but like it's not. You don't like no artist gets paid for what they do.
For sure. Yeah.
Everything's free. So if you're a big name artist, you're going to play. You're doing it for free. Right. You're not getting paid for it. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, like they don't know who is playing. Okay. So, like, they don't release schedules, really.
Oh, so it's like day of or weekend
it's
of
just
or whatever?
Like you show up and you're like, this is who's playing.
Oh, shit. They don't for like, a lot nothing at all.
Yeah, so for a lot of it. There is
awesome, man.
I forget the girl's name, but there's one girl who, it's like this website called Rockstar Librarian. Okay. And she, like, our camps will, like, submit who is playing at their camps. Okay. And say, okay, this is what it is. And then, like, a couple days before Burning Man, she puts it out on the internet. On her website, or if you're subscribed, she emails it to you. Gotcha. And she's like, this is who's playing at Burning Man. Okay. And most of the time, it's wrong. Oh, okay. So, like, it'll have all these times. Yeah, it'll have all these times, and it'll be like, okay, I want to go see this person. You'll show up and be like, that's not that person. So, like, that's a big part of it is, like, you'll show up and you'll be like, I was expecting to see someone or anything like that, and it's not that person. Gotcha. Which is, like, honestly a little bit more fun. Because you're like, I don't know who the fuck's playing. And then and then you'll eventually find out, you'll be like, I love this. That's and you hear a lot of music that you would never expect to hear because you don't know who was playing. Right. Like, right. You just have no idea.
Right. Which is, I mean, I think it's a perfect way to showcase your music as, like, people don't know. Like, they might show up to hear a big name when your set's going on, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're going and you're killing it. And, they're like, man, this guy's dope. And they want to know more about BRX and, who you are and where they can hear more of this music. Yeah. So that's a dope opportunity, man. You got to take me to Burning Man one of these days. Once once you're big and you're playing Burning Man.
I always say, like anyone who wants to go, like you should go at least once. It's worth it. Yeah, man. Like, even if it's not for you at the end of it, you get to that experience because like it's a culture that like you won't experience. Yeah. Like in normal day life, everyone is so genuine, so nice. You don't have bad interactions. No one's aggressive. Like everyone is just happy, and every single conversation you have, it doesn't matter if it's with a billionaire who randomly is there because there's a lot of them there. Yeah. And everyone's treated like a normal person. So every interaction you have is just like happy and fun, and they're interested in what you have to say as a human. Right. Which is just like so refreshing. Right. And like that's why I really like the people I camp with is like they're just such genuine people. Like even outside of Burning Man, they're exactly the same. Just such genuine people. It's like you got to hang on to people like that,
for sure, man.
Keep your circle close. And, keep us surrounded with good people. That's what it's all about.
For sure, man. Yeah, no, that's dope, man. Sounds like Burning Man is, a dope place to just explore that type of environment, I guess, because it's everything, man. It's a bunch. I've never been, but from what I see, it's everything, man.
It's a good place to express yourself, whether that's music or arts, because there's a lot of insane art projects there that are just like. You'll go and like people spend a month beforehand building it out on the playa or like building the temple and building the city. It's it's a couple month process. They build it like a month before, get it going. You get there, it's still being built, and then at the end they stay for another month to take everything down, make sure that whole desert has no trash anywhere. Yeah, it's a fully self-sustaining environment. Like you have to bring all your own stuff. Okay, in you have to take everything out. The only thing you can buy there is the ice. That's it. You can't buy food, can't buy anything. You have to bring all your own water, all your own thing, and then you have to bring all your trash out, everything like that.
Yeah, man. I've seen some crazy videos of like setting up Burning Man. I think it's like a time lapse, of like setting up Burning Man, and then just when they clear everything out. And it's like it's insane how like what it grows to,
Yeah.
and then what it clears
I mean,
out
it
to.
goes in the middle of the Black Rock Desert, 0 people out there to 80,000 in a second.
Is that the number? That's a lot.
80,000 people. It's literally a city.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
crazy.
from one
Holy shit.
end of the city to the other. I think it's like 5 miles from one side of the Pentagon
wow.
to the other. Yeah, it's insane.
Wow, that's crazy. Do you get to see everything, or?
Oh, it's impossible.
Okay, that's right.
Dude, I like this year. This year, I spent a lot of time just like by myself a couple times, just like biking around, seeing art.
Yeah.
And like, you couldn't see it all if you wanted to.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
impossible. I don't think there's enough time because like you'll see a piece of art, you're like, that is so insane, and then you'll go look at it, and the next thing you know, 30 minutes and hours pass, you're like, shit, like, that was awesome.
Right. And then
it's
there's
just
art everywhere.
Yeah, and then at night, it's like the same environment because everything's in the same places. But at night, and one of the really cool things about a lot of the stages you play on is they move. So a lot of them, they're art cars. So they're made on these massive semis or something, made into these insane stages that can drive around. The speed limit's 5 miles an hour out there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
people follow around on the bikes and like walk by, and then like you'll stop and like people will be playing sets and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool to have an environment that's constantly changing. So like sometimes you'll be like, I'll set my bike right here. Yeah. And then like you'll walk around, follow our car, and then your landmark to where you put the bike is gone because it was an art car and it moved. And you're like, oh, shit, like where's my bike?
That's right. Oh,
Which I did that the first year I was there.
Talking from experience.
Yeah, I set my bike down the first year I was there, and I was like walking around, and then a dust storm happened.
Oh shit!
And I was like, all right, yeah, no, I know where I put my bike. I got on an art car, drove around, and I remember where I put my bike. And once the dust storm ended, I looked around, and I realized I was on the other side of the city because like you can see across the desert to the other side of the city, and I could see the laser that goes up from the pyramid. There's a place called Playa Alchemist. It's like this massive pyramid that does projection mapping on the outside.
Okay. Dope.
And it has this one spotlight that goes straight into there, super high. And I was like, that's where I left my bike. And I was on the other side of the playa, and I was like, dude, that's multiple miles away. I was like, it was like 5 a.m. I was like, dude, this sucks.
Hey, fuck, man.
Like, I gotta get all the way back
What'd
there.
you end up doing?
I just started walking. Got to my bike at like 7 a.m. or some shit. I was like, sun's
Holy
coming up.
shit,
I was like
dude.
all tired. I was like, whatever, man.
That's crazy, man.
It's all
but
part
hey,
of the
it was
experience.
fun. It was dope.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all part of the experience there. It's like shit's so much fun.
How many days is it?
So it's technically I think like 9 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it opens up at midnight on Saturday night.
Okay.
That's when the gates open. So you are in line all night. A lot of it. Sometimes it takes a really long time. This year, the past 2 years, we've gotten really lucky. We've timed it out really well. So my brother's been going longer than me.
Okay.
And he like kind of had a method. So we did it in 2019 where I was like, we should leave at this time because I was like calculating miles and traffic and all that stuff. And I've never been.
Okay.
And we ended up getting in under 2 hours, which is insane.
Oh, wow.
Which doesn't happen for a lot of people. And this year we got in like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, you
Just
guys
like,
got the mojo.
We just like got it figured out. We know exactly where to leave from at what time. We're just like, okay, like, and people always ask like, how do you guys get through so fast? And we're like, we'll tell you, but like, like, I mean, you're not gonna be able to do it because you come from a different area. Because a lot of our friends and like stuff and people we know, a lot of people come from California or San Francisco. There's a big Burning Man community there, and a lot of them come from there. And we come from the other side. So it's like if you want to time at the same time, you got to go over to this part so you can go on that road.
Right. Yeah.
And then we have the right of way compared to the San Francisco people at one of the turns.
Okay.
So we just can keep going, and they have to stop at a stop. So like once the traffic builds up, that like there's like stories of people literally waiting for a day plus. Or like if it rains, you're not allowed to move. So you like you have to wait till the playa dries up. Yeah, it's like it's wild out there. So there's a lot of rules. And then the dust storms are constant. So if it's too dusty, you're not allowed to move either in your cars. Too dangerous.
Right.
And like this year was super dusty. Once we were out there, we had like a dust storm that like started ripping apart our tent, and like it was such a whiteout. Like you could barely see like a foot or a couple feet in front of you. Such a whiteout. And it was like all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
holy shit.
Yeah, it was wild.
But again, it's all part of the experience.
Yeah, it's all part of,
that's
like,
crazy.
dude, I love that shit. I love like an environment
Holy
that's
shit.
like just random, like, and you're just like, holy
You don't
fuck,
know.
you haven't experienced this shit before. It's like,
right.
here we go.
Yeah, man. No, that is crazy, man. But yeah, no, that's awesome, man. So I guess for the people that are listening or tuning in, watching, where can they find BRX social media?
So on all social media, SoundCloud, everything, it's BRX Sounds. So BRX and Sounds, just all one word. And that's SoundCloud, Instagram, Facebook page.
Dope.
Twitter.
Awesome.
All social media, yeah.
Cool.
I just made it all the same. So.
TikTok, you have a TikTok?
I do have a TikTok too. Yeah, it's
cool.
BRX Sounds also. I just started it. Well, I just started actually using it recently. I've had it forever, but I just started using it recently because I'm like, man, it's another avenue of growth. Like you might as well experience it. And like I'm one of those people that's like in front of a camera, I'm kind of awkward.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's just like talking and stuff. So I'm like, how do I make TikTok to my advantage? So I'm trying to like figure out how to use it to my advantage of like, okay, like maybe I can do like mashups or like mixing things and just record that and just like record sick transitions and stuff like that. And like, I don't know, I'll figure it out eventually. You want to follow the trends that like are taking off because like you want to access I hate to say it this way, but you want to access the younger crowd that uses social media more than we do. Right. Because like personally, like I don't like social media. I hate using social media. I agree. But I have to use it because in this day and age, you have to have a social media presence as an artist.
You can't make it if you're not.
No, it sucks. Which like, so I've been grinding that out. Like I had 200 followers on my Instagram like 3 weeks ago. And now I have like 1,300 plus.
Just from that
just from being consistent in the communities, talking to people, doing shows in California.
Yeah. Networking, man.
And just growing really fast. So and people, and I've gotten great response to my mixes.
Dope.
And I've applied to some big festivals and stuff.
That's awesome.
So I'm waiting to hear back from some festivals and stuff for next year that have said positive things. And same with Burning Man. Like I could be playing in front of a lot of people next year, which hopefully is the case. Right. It's just that avenue. It's like I don't really care about being famous. I don't want to be. I just want my music to be known, and like if
you can make a living off of it too.
And I always say like if I can just like change one person's life, they're like they just listen to one song and they're like that was awesome. And they like, are better because of it or happier because of it, then I've done what I've set out to do. It's not necessarily about the money. Of course, like, I want to make money from it because like I want to make money from it because I want to do it as a career.
For sure, but
I do it because I genuinely enjoy music and it makes me happier. So it's like, why not do it?
That's right, man.
It's like there's a lot of other avenues of life you can go down, but like I think music's such a good creative space for a lot of people that, even if you don't have the experience, you can still be creative with music. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, it's music's a beautiful thing, man. But yeah, no, that's awesome, man, that you do say that because it's true, man. And honestly, like a lot of the artists, musicians, DJs, a lot of people that are actually like trying to make this happen is they're doing it because of that. They want to inspire others to either chase their dreams or, find a way to express themselves freely. Like, and music is, the perfect avenue for that, and so it's dope that that's one of the reasons why you do it is you want to inspire people, and I'm sure you do, man, with your mixes now and to, what it's going to turn into.
Hopefully. And that's what I was,
hopefully.
Hopefully. That's what I admired about like you and people who like did music at our stuff. Cause it was like at our school, it was like, we're such a small community. It's like, if you're doing something that's not the general norm, everyone fucking knows. Like immediately everyone will know.
Right.
And like, whether that's you get made fun of for it because we're a small community or like people support you, which has been fucking awesome for you because you get hella support and everyone loves that.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I
but
think
it didn't start there.
No, it didn't.
Oh man, it started from the people because again I was trying to be a rapper in Telluride. Like what the hell?
Yeah, and I remember it. I remember back in the day. Like I know it wasn't easy. That shit was like not easy.
Not man, but that's part of it. I could have gave up, and I would not be here right now.
Yeah, but you didn't, and here you are, and you're
exactly.
You're doing good shit, and you're making good music, and like you're helping younger people experience music and learn about music, which is huge. It's inspiring that younger generation to be like, hey, this is what I love doing, and and that's why I coached basketball for so long. Is like. That's what I wanted to do for a long time. I played college basketball.
That's right, dude.
And then I came back to Telluride to coach our high school for a couple of years, which is what I did during COVID and whatnot.
Yeah.
And which was a lot of fun. And I wanted to share that love and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like there's something that I loved more, and there's something that I know I could be a lot better at.
Right.
But it's just that sharing that passion and sharing like what you are into and teaching someone else about it, which is just like huge.
Oh, for sure, man. And I'm glad you brought that basketball up because I remember growing up, dude. You used to. I mean, you're a tall motherfucker, dude. I remember that's all you wanted to do was become a basketball player. And again, you played college basketball. Like I think you were actively trying to pursue it, right? Then you just found another passion or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's
which that's what happens in life. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a professional skier, so all I did was ski.
Right. Man,
and I just grinded skiing, and then I got sponsored in skiing, won some competitions, and all of a sudden that took off. And then I kept getting hurt, and I started playing basketball, and I was like, oh man, I want to be able to walk when I'm older. I don't want to keep getting all these injuries from skiing, so I basically stopped like skiing for sponsorships and skiing and all these things because it was just like I'm getting hurt too much. So I switched to basketball, and I remember I was the worst person on my team, man. I was so bad. Freshman year and sophomore year, I was terrible. I was the worst person at our school, and I always got made fun of it. So like after sophomore year, I was averaging like 2 points a game for varsity, which is just like not good. And I was just like, oh, dude, I am bad at this. So I just like over the summer year of between sophomore and junior year, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to grind basketball. And that's all I did every single day.
That's right.
And I went from being the worst player on our team to one of the best players in the state just in one summer because I was like, that's what I've always said. It's like if I put my mind to something, I'm just going to achieve it because I'll hyper-focus on it and be like, I'm going to do this.
Right.
Like you can tell me I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to do it, and you'll see that I'm going to do it.
For sure, man. No, I think it has, I think humans are capable of doing a lot of things if they really just put their minds to it. And like I always say, man, and I got the saying from Snoop Dogg, man, there's nothing to it but to do it. Yeah. And that applies to anything, man. Like if you want to be a professional basketball player, well, you're not going to become a professional basketball player by sitting on your ass.
You got to put that time.
You got to put that work in,
And a lot of it too just takes a lot of sacrifice. It's like you got to understand that like if you're trying to make these goals happen or like these dreams, like successful, you got to understand that there's other parts of your life that you're going to have to sacrifice, and if those people around you don't understand that like you got to take time on other things, then obviously they shouldn't be in your life in the first place.
Right.
You got to have that support system that knows that this is what you're about, this is what you want to do, and they're gonna love you for it or they won't.
Right, man. No, that's some real shit right there, man. Honestly, man, because I was teaching the kids the other day, man, about support, and it brings me back to what you were just saying, man. It's that sometimes the people that we want to see supporting us are usually it's not that they don't want to support or whatever. I don't know. But
some of it, sometimes they don't understand what they're supporting.
Exactly.
Like they want to support and they're like, okay, like you do what you got to do.
Right.
But they don't understand it, which is totally fine.
Right.
Everyone supports people in different ways.
For sure.
And, it's how you receive that support and what you want to do with it too. You got to understand too, as a person, someone who's making these sacrifices that like, they still want to support you and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes it's just in a different way than you expect.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. Yeah. It's all about your attitude, man, and how you receive that.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man. No, I'm glad that I like your mentality and just your attitude of going about things, man. And obviously you got some EPs coming. You're trying to work on some music mixes. You got some shows coming up. But what's next for BRX?
That's the big question that I've been trying to figure out. It's like I have a goal journal basically where I write all my goals, and each goal I have like a whole page for, and I write the steps for every single goal and how I'm going to reach this thing. So like at the bottom of the page I have my big goal, and then I have all the steps, and each step that I accomplish I'll cross off.
That's right.
So like I have a social media goal that like I have to have because this generation's like that, and like I have like goals where I want to play. Like at the end of my career I want to have a set at the Boiler Room. By the time, if I can play at the Boiler Room and play one set there, then I've accomplished one of my goals. That's one of my biggest goals. What's the Boiler Room? So the Boiler Room is like, it's a club, basically, it's the most well-known place for artists to play music. Only the best artists play there.
Oh, shit.
Unless you have like some type of connection. There's been some shows there recently that have not been good that I was like, how'd they get a show at the Boiler Room?
Like any artist or just any music?
So it's mostly house music. They do Boiler Rooms for other artists and stuff, but the specific one I'm talking about is for house music. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And recently there was a Boiler Room by Fred Again. I don't know if you know who that is.
I don't know.
But I'll show you the link of it. Dude, the guy's insane. One of the most talented artists that there is for our like generation right now for music.
What is it?
His name's Fred Again.
Fred Again?
Yeah, and he uses I forget what the pad name that he uses, but he drums all of his stuff live, everything live on his pads, and it's just so creative and so talented. And there's like interviews with him by these people who are so well known in the music world that they're always amazed by how he is able to do that live, and everything is live. And people are like,
"That's
is this
crazy.
dude a robot? Like, is he really playing this live, or is he faking it?"
Yeah.
And then you watch him mess up at certain times in the show. It's like an artist, and you can see it, and you're like, "Oh, dude, he's doing that shit." Like, that dude is talented,
dude. Yeah, that's crazy. I just searched him on Spotify, and it sounds like he's got something with Future. Hopefully this comes through, but
yeah, it's coming through. Yeah, he's got some new good shit.
Hopefully we don't get copyrighted for this.
This song is amazing. This song is so good. This song live.
Yeah, this is a vibe, man. And you're saying he does all of this live?
Yeah.
Okay,
So he has
that's crazy.
So
dude.
that song specifically, it's called "Turn Off the Lights" or "Turn on the Lights."
Turn on the lights. Yep, turn
And
on
it's
the
with
lights
Swedish
again.
House Mafia, and
That's fucking hard.
yeah,
dude.
and it goes
Swedish
hard.
House
But
Mafia, yeah.
I'll have to turn you on to the video for it because you can watch it all because the camera's right there and you watch everything he's doing and it is just it's so
like
fast.
he's really doing
He's
it.
really
yeah.
doing it, and like he messes up sometimes. You can tell, like especially as an artist who like knows what like house music generally sounds like.
Yeah.
You can see if he makes mistakes. In the Boiler Room, there's not like really any mistakes, but like other shows that he's done,
Yeah.
like there's mistakes and like it clearly can happen as any artist does because
Yeah.
any artist makes mistakes. I know when I mix, dude, I make mistakes all the time.
Oh man, yeah.
Can
It's
the
part of
general
it.
can the general crowd know the mistake? No, but I do, and that's worse.
That's right. No, exactly, man. Yeah, we say that a lot with hip hop, man. Like, you know, these kids that I'm trying to teach, you know, it's like when they mess up, because one of the things I'm trying to teach them is like live performance as well. So like with hip hop, you know, if you mess up, they want to like restart the song. I'm like, no, you can't restart the song if you're performing live.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but you got to be real smooth with it.
Yeah, you could, but like if the crowd be like, "What's going on, man?"
Yeah, exactly. Go throw the crowd off, man.
Yeah.
So it's just like really just recovering. And again, it's different perspectives, but you know, it's again the same thing. It's like you as an artist can tell.
Yeah.
Listen, if I was just freestyling or like rapping, and then I stumbled on my words and started freestyling.
Yeah.
Like the crowd probably would have not noticed it, but like me, I know
Yeah.
that's not my verse.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
Same
but
with music.
it's just how you recover. It's like
Right.
exactly, and
Exactly.
I don't know if it's maybe it's kind of the same for like doing hip hop, but
Yeah.
like as a like a DJ when I'm mixing and I'm playing like mixing with my board live,
Mm-hmm.
like if I mess up a transition, I start to mess up. There's an easy way to recover that. I can turn down one of the songs and I just turn up my like echo really high and I just scratch back so it
Okay.
sounds like it scratches back, and then I'll turn off my echo and restart at the cue point before, and then I can just restart my cue point and then remix it in, and people just think it's natural.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things that if you do it quick enough, people are like, that was sick. Like, that sounded
Right.
awesome. And it like honestly sometimes sounds better.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you recover
'cause-
from that mistake and you make that mistake into something that's better.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people will never know that, especially the general population when you're playing a show. They're just
Right.
people who are there to enjoy music. They're not artists and they're not people who know you're making mistakes.
Oh, for sure.
Sometimes when you have an artist in the crowd, like
Yeah.
they'll be like, yeah, I heard that
Yeah,
shit.
you
And you're like,
fucked up.
yeah, fair enough.
No, for sure, man. But hey, I've heard this saying before that, you know, some of the greatest things have happened on
yeah.
mistakes, you know?
Yeah,
Just
100%.
shit that
I was,
wasn't meant to be.
I was messing around last night with some music, so I'm making so I have a whole Burning Man crew, and I'm making a song for
Okay.
every single one of them because I consider them like my family, and
Dope.
they I've had deep conversations with every single one of them. They're such amazing people, so I'm making a song for every single one of them. So last
Dope.
night I was making a song for this girl that I've been hanging out with
Okay.
from our Burning Man crew,
Yeah.
and I'm making a song for her, and I had to go through like 500 plus samples just to find that right instrument sound that I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, here's a couple. And I was like messing with them and I was just changing all the frequencies and I was putting all some plugins into them and just changing some stuff. And I was
Yeah.
like, and I just like randomly like clicked one, like changed everything on the plugin without listening to it. And I played it and I was like, oh shit, that works really well. I was like,
That's right.
it's like just got so lucky. It's just like the stuff like that in music that like anything can sound good.
Right.
It just depends on how you apply it. And like nothing sounds bad.
Yeah.
And it depends. You could just change it. If there's
Right.
a sound that sounds slightly off, all you got to do is to tweak it a little bit, and it
Right.
could still be amazing. Or you can use that exact sound and make the other sound slightly different, and it'll make that sound more beautiful.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. Or even that sound, it might not even be meant for that track, but it turns it to another whole track.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the thing I love about music is that there's no rules, man.
Yeah.
You know, like what you think sounds bad.
Yep.
Again, you can tweak it. You can, you know,
Yeah.
move it around to create something,
Yeah.
or even if it's getting inspiration from that sound or whatever that is, man. So no, that's a beautiful thing, man. Music is dope, man. And yeah, man, I see. You know, I'm not too into to house music. I enjoy it, dude. But like, we have to get some some type of collaboration going, man.
We'll get some stuff going. We should like make our own EP where it's like house
Dude.
music with some like verses or some shit like coming up.
Oh, for sure, dude.
be dope.
That's actually something that I'm kind of working on. I wouldn't consider it house, but it's more of that, you know,
Yeah,
dancey
Yeah.
vibe. And that's what we're doing. It's just like, you know, it's really vibey, dancey, like it'll move you. And then I just come in and spit a quick 16 or whatever,
yeah,
and
that'd be sweet.
it'll bounce back, you know, to the vibe.
We'll work on that. You know what I'll do? I'll do tonight since like I have free time later.
That's right.
I'll just like make some random beats or something and I'll send them to you and be like, what do you think for like this random house stuff? Or like some stuff that I'm already working on. Maybe I'll check into it.
Dude, I'm gonna show you something that actually I just have the instrumental, but I'm gonna show you just so you get the idea
Yeah.
of just like what I'm what I'm trying to work on, you know, because that really is like this. I don't know. I've been really feeling this like dancey vibe lately, man. And it's just like when I throw some like rhymes in there, it just.
Plus, the dancey vibe these days is so popular.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a whole nother market you can expose yourself to easily. It's like.
For sure, dude. Yeah, this is one of the beats I got right here.
Yeah, it's like little melodic house.
Yeah.
Literally. I actually have a beat that's kind of similar to this that I'm working on right now.
Yeah, something like this, you know, it's like real chill. Man, I forget how my verse goes. It's like, ain't nobody like that. If I want to back that, yeah, like that. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, man. It's like, you know, so I was just thinking, man, let's fucking work on something together, man. You know,
most of my music right now, like I'm not even like, I use Ableton and FL Studio, but at the same time I have a Novation circuit track, which is just like a little board, has 32 keys.
Okay.
And I can put all my samples on there. It has like, I think I have like 2,000 samples on it, right? So it has 2 synth tracks, 2 MIDI tracks, and 4 drum tracks.
Okay.
And I can, you know, play them all out. So all my music that I have currently done, it's not mastered, but it's done. I'm happy with this. Yeah. Is on that. So I haven't even put it on my computer yet to do anything with it. So it's all on that. So I just like literally, I was driving back from California 2 days ago, and I was stuck in Arizona right before Flagstaff. They got a bunch of snow, and I was dead stop traffic. There was an accident for an hour, and my thing's battery powered, so it's rechargeable. So it was charged. So I could just sit in my car, and I literally would just jam it for like an hour, awesome, making music, and I was just like, dude, this is where it's at. Like, I gotta keep this on me at all times.
Yeah, dude, no, the little, you know, things like that, tools like that, they're awesome, dude. I just got a new, the new MPC, the new MPK, that you don't need a software. You know, the MPC one, you used to not, you know what the MPC is, right? Yeah. And the MPC one, you didn't need a software because it has its own built-in, you know, so you can do exactly that, you know, take it with you and make beats. Yep. But they've never had the keys with it, you know? Well, they have, but you need to run it off a computer. But, dude, it's been so dope, man, just to, like, I don't even turn my computer on, you know, just jam, man.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't even, like, I literally have plugged in that thing once to my computer. Yeah. Because the way it works, like, you have to record it into your computer. You can't take it out unless you put it on your SD card. Yeah. Which, like, I could do, but I'm like, I'd rather record it in over, like, another beat. Yeah. So I just make all my music on that, and I drum it out because you have all your synths, everything on there, and all my samples are on there.
That's awesome.
And when you can record it, you set your song, and your song's made on it. And you're like, you're done. You have your drops, you have your buildups. And then when you record it into your computer, you can change it by activating certain things at certain times. So you can have, you know, your double drops and like all this stuff while you're recording in. And it's just, it gives you that creative freedom to, you know, be more expressive with your music instead of just like, instead of me sitting on my computer and just like, we're looking at Ableton and clicking everything. It's like, I'm drumming everything and making the beat and you're setting everything myself, which is like, which is a lot of fun. It's just, you know, like I get lost doing it sometimes. Like sometimes I'll look at the clock and then it's like 4 hours later and I'm like,
it's crazy.
I was just doing that for 4 hours. Like what the hell just happened?
And sometimes you don't do anything for 4 hours, but going through sounds, you know? Yeah. That's crazy, man. No, that's dope. You're into that, man. Cause that's something that I've been trying to get into as well. It's just that production side of things. But yeah, man, is there a certain way or that you go about when you create a mix or a song?
Yeah, so generally, like recently what I've been doing is like I either try like find a hi-hat, like a percussion, or I try to find a bass line that like a sound that I really like as a bass line. I go for one or the other, and then I start with having which generally isn't, like, a lot of people do it a lot of different ways, and I know a lot of friends who do it not this way. Which I like to switch it up because it gives you that ability to do it in other ways instead of getting stuck in that one habit. But I always set a bass line first, like get my bass line and get like my BPM set. So I always range, and all my stuff right now ranges between 118 to 130 BPM. So like I have like 8 songs that are fully done basically on my like pad. So they're all between that range. So that's kind of what I go for, because general house music is I think it's like 116 to like 132 or something. House music.
It's faster.
BPM, So I kind of go for the BPM. I set my beat, and then I like set it out. And if it's like slightly off, then I can just change it with the software, because it has its own software. So I do that, and then I set like my percussion, my hi-hat, and all that kind of stuff.
Dope.
And then I try to go for like a unique sound or an instrument sound or like a synth, like some type of like analog synth, or like that has like a weird noise that like adds a little bit to it, and I can hold it out and record it so it lasts longer in certain areas. And that's kind of how I go about it. I start really simple. I start with just like, okay, how am I counting this out? Is it going to be slow? Is it going to be fast? Like,
oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's like the most mundane way to say like, oh yeah, I just start with the bass line.
Yeah. No, I mean,
you
yeah.
got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. I mean, you do. Yeah, exactly. You got to start somewhere, man. You know, it's just growing, building from what you started, which is that bass line or that snare or whatever.
And I'm trying to like branch out on how I do things too. So like, I'm gonna get a recording from every single one of my Burning Man family. I'm gonna get a recording of them talking into their phone or into a mic. It doesn't need to be a good mic. Who cares about the quality? Yeah, it's them talking to their mic, saying something about Burning Man that they love or about our camp that they love or just something about themselves, anything. So I'm going to have them do like multiple things, send them to me, and then I'm going to make a song out of their voices. So like each person I'm making a song for, so it'll like have an intro or an outro of their voice saying something that they love that's like, tweaked a little bit with like, a plug-in or something, or it'll just be natural if it sounds like perfect. And then and then have that like shift and change into like a beat and a song that I made just for them and just for that person.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Which I'm really excited about that project. Yeah, it's a lot right now because I'm like trying to, because I've been recording my own voice and like messing with it, and it's really weird because I've never done anything like that. Yeah. So it's like totally new, and I'm not that insane at producing yet. Like I just started recently. Yeah. I mean, do I take a lot of time? Yeah, I take time every single day to work on it, and that's just
you have to, man.
That's what I've been doing. I've been treating it like a full-time job. Dope. I do like 8 hours a day minimum, and it's just like that's just what I do for sure. And so I've been getting better at it really fast because I just take the time. And I recently just started taking an Ableton class just to be like, I need to get way better at this. I want to become like professional, like no mistakes. I need to know what everything does, every aspect of this. So I recently just started taking a class through Berkeley. Dope. Just specifically for music. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like just one class on how to use Ableton. Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited about that project. I think it's going to be really cool. It's a lot of work, and I'm hoping I'm done by August because like I'm not going to release it before August. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play it for my campmates, everyone at Burning Man. At Burning Man is the goal. Okay. Or whatever I have done, which and then release it after. Burning Man it's the end of August, start of September. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So 23 songs and that amount of time is a lot of music. You're gonna be set for a good set. Yeah, and I, working on my own EP, I'm gonna do like 2 or 3 songs. Okay, probably only 2, and then hopefully get some other EPs, release some singles, and then my own album that is just my own album. I want to release by like June or July, and that'll be my first stuff, and I'll have it on Beatport, Beatlink, Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, everything that you can buy it on and or stream it on. Yeah, and see what kind of support I get after that, especially after building like a very solid, loyal social following. Yeah, after from going to 200 followers to that much in less than a month, it's like okay, like these people obviously are following me because I'm active in the community of music, so it's not like which is good. Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, and then just keep on feeding them this content, you know. But that's awesome, man. You're clearly working on music, man. I'm excited to hear a lot of those projects that you're working on, and I really am, dude. Because we did a show together. Actually, you I don't think did you play a set at that show? You did play a set at that show, right? Yeah. That's right. And yeah, dude. I mean, even just that vibe, it was like, dude, like you were killing it, dude. Like everyone that night was playing awesome, live. I love it. I like producing music more. I'd way rather just produce music and release it and like be like people love my music instead of like playing a lot of shows. I mean, I love playing music live. Don't get me wrong. I feel totally comfortable. Feels natural. Yeah, and like I love it, but. Playing, especially in Telluride when it's a small community, because you have a lot of your friends there, like in the front row, dancing, going hard. Yeah. And there's been a lot of times where we completely sell out the whole venue. Yeah. Shout out Telluride. Yeah, for real. Giving us our first starts, small mountain town. Straight up. which is great. Telluride's a big supporting community, especially as you get older. You realize there's a lot of people that support you. And like going back to like, we did a show together, and there was a bunch of people there for that, and that was a bunch of fun. Yeah. And we've sold out that venue many times, just like they can't let any more people in, and it's just like literally just a bunch of locals or tourists that are just jamming to your music, and it feels good. Right. And like Ken, I play a lot of shows with him, and he plays some of his own music that he's made, and he's working on a lot of music right now. And when he gets back, we're gonna work on an EP and get a lot of shit going. And that's awesome, man. It's definitely my favorite part is that like creative aspect of our town, and like having those people around us that they want to support you and they like want to see you successful instead of like wishing on your downfall, which a lot of people do in other places, but luckily we don't have that as much. I mean, I was going to say, I'm sure there's still there's definitely still some of that, but you don't see it as actively as you do in other places, which is really nice.
Yeah, man. No, that's awesome. That's beautiful, man. So shout out to everybody supporting. God damn it.
Yeah, much appreciated.
So everyone, that's tuning in again, man. Where can they find your music? I know we said it again, but I just want to remind people.
BRX Sounds on Instagram, all social media. We'll just say that, make it easy. It's all
Perfect.
social media. Yeah. And
BRX.
if you like house music, on my SoundCloud, BRX Sound, I'm going to be posting a lot of new mixes. I've been recording a lot recently, so I have a bunch that I'm going to post soon. Got some shows that I'll post soon and all kind of stuff. There's just a couple Burning Man sets on there right now that I've gotten good feedback on. I got put on the official Burning Man playlist that this guy makes every year with a couple of my other friends that are DJs, which was cool. So
that's awesome.
Right next to me and my friend Alex, who's my Burning Man leader basically this year for our camp.
Yeah,
his DJ name is Haberdasher.
Okay,
and he's put right next to me on it, next to some fucking dope artists that are big name artists. So people see those and they find our music and they start being like, oh, cool. Yeah, so I've had a lot of my music exposed that way. I've found with SoundCloud, though, it's like hard to gain exposure. It's really weird compared to other social media.
Yeah,
man. It doesn't work the same.
Yeah, man. No, it's SoundCloud. I think it's not the thing anymore. I mean, who knows? I know it used to be.
It used to be huge. Yeah, it is for certain types of music in certain communities, I think, but not as much as it used to be. It feels like. Yeah, because I remember back in the day as a kid, it was massive, man. Like, you could go on there, and that's how everyone got found. Right, everyone.
Exactly.
And nowadays, it's like feels like SoundCloud's not used much for anyone. Exactly. not near as often. They just post their mixes. They don't post their music or anything on there as much anymore. It's weird.
Man. No, it really is, man. But hey, we got to find a way.
Yeah. That's why I was like, oh man, I got to start a TikTok. Damn it, dude.
Yeah, TikToks, man. Start creating those dance videos.
I'm too old for that. I'm not doing the dance videos. Hell no.
Yeah, man. No. I mean, I have a TikTok, man. Just going back to that, man. It's just like, but again, man, it's just like, I know I need to be consistent with my TikTok because that's honestly that's how you grow, especially like right now. Like TikTok is the app. Again, we go to the youth. That's really who's helping us grow is the next generation, those younger kids.
It really is. And what I've been doing actually recently might help you with it too is so I'll make reels on Instagram or something of a recent show, or like something that like a friend's show or like stuff that like I'm supporting and stuff like that.
For sure.
And I'll just take that reel that I make for Instagram or like something that I make for Instagram and I'll just a video of one of my live sets that's like 15 seconds long and I'll just put it on TikTok and be like, cool.
Right here.
So I'm posting more often because of that.
Dope.
But it's not like content that I'm like specifically making for TikTok because I'm like, dude, that's like, I got so much. I'm trying to learn like the business aspect and start an LLC and like learn production and mastering and do all this stuff at once. I'm like,
there's a lot to it, man.
It's too much stuff at once. Like I can't focus on everything at once. Yeah. So I'm just like, all right, I'll just cut the effort in half and just repost.
That's right, man. No, there is a lot being an independent artist, man. Yeah. There's a lot that goes to it. Especially when you're a one man crew. Just trying to make everything happen, man.
Yeah.
But man. I guess I want to ask you, man, for maybe some people out there listening that want to be DJs or house DJs or producers or whatever. Is there anything you want to give them as advice or
if you want to do any type of electronic music in general and like you want to mix or DJ or anything, if you want to be an actual artist and produce, I would say start that first. Start producing, start learning how to use Ableton, or FL Studio, whatever you want to learn.
Yeah.
Because that takes a lot of time. I wish I knew that when I started DJing, but I didn't. So I didn't start producing and like learning about that till earlier this year. And granted, I've put a lot of time in, so I've gotten a lot better at it really fast. But like, there's people that they study for years before making their first song and releasing their first song because it's so hard to get really good at. So start with that first, or buy a cheap board, buy something small. There's a lot of good Pioneer boards out there that are cheap. I prefer Denon products just because I like them more. But Pioneer's great, and that's like the kind of the standard. Everyone uses CDJs or Pioneer and stuff, but like just get some music on your computer or a USB if it's a standalone, and just start mixing, start working on producing music and learning. Get a free trial of Ableton, get a free trial of FL Studio first, and see how you like it.
Yeah.
I wish I knew that years ago when I started mixing and DJing and learning how to DJ and stuff, because then I would be in a way different spot than I am now with producing, which is okay. But you got to take your journey however you get there.
Exactly.
You got those end goals, you'll get there eventually.
That's right, man. But yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm picking up from you is just do it, man.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it, especially nowadays. Yeah. It's so easy to. Again, that's how I started, is getting free trials off different DAWs. And, just messing around and, learning off of that.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man. Again, thank you so much for coming and making the drive, man.
Yeah,
I
much appreciated.
Oh, for sure, man. It's been dumping in Telluride, man.
Last
couple days.
Yeah, I was supposed to be down. I was supposed to be down here
man.
yesterday doing this with you, and I was like, I woke up and I looked outside and I was like, it is dumping, and I looked at the road cameras and I was like, the roads are shit. Like, it's gonna be slow drivers. I was like, hey, let's do it tomorrow morning if you're down.
No, but that's crazy, man. Because that's the one thing I do miss about being up in Telluride. Is those big snowflakes, man.
Yeah, real. It's nice. I love the snow, but after spending like 5 weeks in California,
you like the sun.
Got used to like the sun and like running. I've been working out more and like being healthier.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, now I'm back in Telluride. I'm like, I don't want to go outside. Man. It's fucking cold right now, dude. I just want to work on music inside. And I'm like, wait, I got to go outside. That's good for your mental health or something, right?
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah,
they say something about that. But yeah, man, thank you so much, man. But before I let you go, my boy, I want to ask you one last question, and that question is, what's dope in the slope? And when I ask you this question, it's basically, that's the name of the podcast, what's dope in the slope. We try to promote entrepreneurs, artists, and stuff like that. So that's exactly what I want you to put me on, somebody, an artist.
Yeah. Okay, so
entrepreneur, etc.
So what I think is really cool about Telluride is I have our buddy Ken Tendo. Shout out to you.
Shout out Tendo.
You got me my first show that I ever played last New Year's. Dope. Which was dope. And since then we've become super close. Oh yeah, dude, that show that was my first live show I ever played, and it was sold out completely. I was just like, there's a lot of people here. This is my first time playing like for a crowd like this. Yeah. And it was like, an actual show. Yeah. And but shout out to him. He does a lot of really cool stuff, and you can find him at Kentendo on all social media, same with SoundCloud, Facebook group. And
dope.
He's a dope artist. He helps me a lot. We're making an EP together, and me and him hang out a shit ton and make music. And most of our shows we actually do together, and we just play back to backs because it's just so much fun. And like we're so used to playing with each other, it's just like it's so fun. Yeah. And so shout out to him. And then another shout out from Telluride is Lando Birch. Remember Jake Birchmore from our high school? Yeah. So his younger brother, he makes music and actually posted. I shouted him out on my Instagram this morning, and he just came out with a new EP. But he has some solid monthly issues, solid music. He just came out with an EP called Main Street Volume 2. Okay, cool. It's 2 songs.
What is it? What's the music?
So it's house music, but it's awesome. Like the specific genre. It's like kind of like a tropical. It's like groovy, like house music. It's okay. I don't know the exact like genre thinking off the top of my head, but it's really good. It's solid. I'll show it to you after this. But it came up on my release radar on Spotify this morning, and I already listened to it when he first dropped it the other day. But it came up on my release radar today, or yesterday, whenever the release radar updated on Spotify. I think it's Fridays, it literally came out on my thing, and I was just like, "Yo, what the fuck? I know this song." And I was like, "That's him." And so he lives out in California. He's doing awesome things, and I don't know him that well. I'll be honest, but I know his brother, and like it's awesome music. I've enjoyed his releases this year, and he's growing, and it's good stuff. So if you like that type of music, check him out.
Dope, man.
But otherwise, Telluride, small community, and shout out to you. Thanks for having me out here. It's been for sure, man. It's been fun, just being able to talk about music. And hopefully soon I'll have all this music out to be found and listened by people. Got to get some merch made eventually. I'm working on that, trying to design all that. Yeah, you have to, man. It's a process, man. It's a process for sure, man. But thank you for, again, coming and shouting out those people. Shout out Nintendo, and then Lando Birch.
Obviously there's talent coming out of the Western Slope, so definitely come support. And again, go find BRX at BRX Sounds on all social media. But man, is there anything else you want to say before we dip out?
We'll talk after. I want to know what's good with you, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but
man.
It's been good. Like life's been good. Been working a lot on music and just grinding that, and trying to cultivate the relationships around me to be, something that in life that I want to spend my life around, and that's my circle. Keep my circle close, and I keep them all good people.
Oh, no doubt, man. You have to, man.
That's why I spend so much extra time in California. The person that I'm like hanging out with and seeing is just it's genuine human and one of the best people that I've been around. And I'm like, man, I got to take my time around these type of people when I can, because like
for sure,
those type of people don't come around that often, and you got to take advantage of it, like in experiencing that while you can.
For sure, man. No, that's awesome, man. Those are some beautiful words right there, man. But man, thank you so much again for coming through and making that drive. We're gonna have to do this again when you drop those EPs and those new projects, man.
We'll get when me and Ken get that EP, we'll get him out here too.
Yeah, man.
Out here doing some music.
That's right, man. But again, thank you so much, everybody. Go check BRX Sounds or BRX at BRX Sounds on all social platforms. Tune in for that new music, new merch, new everything. You know the deal. Everybody have a good night.
A mi jefa le agradezco todo, Dios cuida a mis niños, yes sir. I'm coming for everything that I deserve. If you slow me down, I'm switching lanes, don't mind if I swerve. Cause this is LFMG, baby, started this from the dirt. Giving back to the people, something they can preserve. You heard? I'm trying to paint a better picture for the youth. I go by E.